One near you at FurniturePlaceUSA.com.
Good morning, America. Happening right now, a rough ride home. Snow and rain threatening major disruptions. 30 million Americans across 15 states under weather alerts this morning. The blizzard warning's up and whiteout conditions on the busiest travel day of this Thanksgiving holiday.
Mall shooting outrage.
It feels like someone has ripped my heart out.
Police first calling this man who was shot and killed by police a gunman, now admitting he likely wasn't the shooter. His family speaking out this morning.
Missionaries' words, what the young man who was apparently killed while trying to convert a remote tribe wrote in his journal ahead of his final journey, and the struggles authorities face now to recover his body.
Danger on the doorstep. Two men behind a scary prank, ringing a doorbell, setting off fireworks, and then taking off. The hunt for the suspects this morning.
And Mars mission, NASA prepping for its InSight lander to touch down on the red planet. The challenges ahead and why it's being called 7 Minutes of Terror.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Thanks.
Good morning. Well, this is deeply inconvenient. Here we are on one of the busiest travel days of the year, and we've got more than 30 million Americans in 15 states under weather alerts this morning.
Heavy snow and wind gusts in several cities overnight, leading to whiteout conditions. Taking a live look at Chicago, where they are bracing for several inches of snow this afternoon.
This as heavy rains move across the Northeast. You can see the rain coming down right now in Boston. We have team coverage of the storms and how they could impact the Mad Dash home. Let's start with Sam Champion in for Rob this morning. The timing of these storms couldn't be more inconvenient.
Yeah, and one of them's worse than the other, so we'll break them up for you. Good morning, Wick. Good morning, everyone. Let's talk about this. Storm number one is the coastal low. We'll talk about that in the next half hour. It's a little trouble for the Boston area and everything north. Storm number two is this storm in the plains that is a real snowmaker, even blizzard conditions. This will bring things to a slowdown. If you're going through Chicagoland midday today into the evening hours, this could be a problem. And any plane that goes through there could be slow because of this. Look at Kansas City at about 5 p.m. Kansas City, you are right on the border there of that 6 to 12 inches of snow. Chicagoland in that zone as well. Anything south of Kansas City is going to be a lot less. You get into Jefferson City, you're probably going to get 1 to 4. Same thing around Chicago, Detroit. The city lines are kind of anything north of that is where the heavier snow will fall. And look, we're talking about Monday at 7 a.m. Then this continues to move. It also moves into the Northeast, but because we've got milder air, it's mostly rain there. Back to you guys, Eva.
All right, thanks, Sam. And that snow causing an absolute mess on the roads, as well as delays and cancellations at the airports, all as millions are trying to make their way home after the holiday weekend.
ABC's Alex Perez is right there at O'Hare International Airport, where the snow is expected to really pile up this afternoon. Alex, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Eva. Take a look. It is already busy here at O'Hare. These passengers are bracing for those words that no one wants to hear on one of the busiest travel days of the year: delays, cancellations, and travel headaches. Overnight, wild winter weather severely impacting parts of the country ahead of one of the busiest travel days. In Colorado, areas of blustery mountain snow creating extremely dangerous driving conditions. These cars involved in some of the accidents that led to the hours-long shutdown of a major highway.
There was a hazmat truck that was jackknifed in the middle of the road, and people were just trying to brake, and they were flying kind of everywhere.
In South Dakota, slippery roads leading to several slide-offs. Cars in Nebraska inching forward as snowy blasts limit driving visibility. And flooding near D.C. resulting from continued northeast rains, leading to this water rescue of 20-some people trapped in a building surrounded by several feet of water.
Don't drive from here.
The ripple effects of the wicked weather will be felt as more travelers begin packing the roads and skies this morning. According to Airlines for America, just over 3 million passengers are expected to take flight today, but blizzard and storm warnings in effect from the Central Plains into the western Great Lakes could cause delays. And the National Weather Service warning of reduced visibility on snow-covered roadways for the millions who will get behind the wheel today. The good news is this is a fast-moving storm. All of the major airlines are already issuing waivers for those passengers in affected areas who want to change their flights. Dan, Whit.
Alex, thank you very much. We're going to move on now to protests in Alabama over a shooting at a mall on Thanksgiving night. Police now admit that the 21-year-old who they shot and killed was likely not the gunman.
ABC's Lindsay Davis joins us now with what his grieving parents are saying about their son being shot and then apparently wrongly identified as the suspect. Lindsay, good morning.
Good morning, guys. The family of 21-year-old Amantic Bradford Jr. is calling his death on Thanksgiving an assassination. Their attorney says that the Hoover police jumped to conclusions by assuming that Bradford was a criminal simply because he was a black man with a gun. And police say the real gunman is still at large.
An impassioned plea from a mother just days after her son was gunned down in an Alabama mall on Thanksgiving.
It feels like someone has ripped my heart out. My heart hurts for my child.
A tragic end to a chaotic night where 2 others were shot, including a 12-year-old girl. Speaking for the first time with ABC News, April Pipkins and Amantic Bradford Sr. are demanding answers after police announced an unlikely suspect in the shootings, their son, 21-year-old Amantic Fitzgerald Bradford Jr., known as EJ.
They just went to rusted judgment on national TV and slandered my son's name. Got my son looking like he a killer.
After videos surfaced of people running and ducking from gunfire, police issued a statement saying Bradford Jr. was the shooter. Less than 24 hours later, police retracted that statement. In a press release, Hoover police saying new evidence now suggests that while Mr. Bradford may have been involved in some aspect of the altercation, he likely did not fire the rounds that injured the 18-year-old victim. Bradford, who briefly trained with the Army, died hours after his mother saw him that Thanksgiving morning. She says she found out about his death on social media.
That is no way to learn of your child's death. That's not fair. That's not humane.
Police say Bradford was carrying a gun when the shooting broke out, but protesters who came out in support of Bradford say it's about more than the gun.
A black life taken away. A black man literally gave his life for this country, for them to take it away from it.
We definitely will get justice for our child. So no other parent should have to go through this.
An attorney for the family says that Bradford was licensed to carry a concealed firearm. His parents will hold a press conference later this morning with their attorney to demand that police release videos of the incident. They say that witnesses have come forward saying Bradford was actually trying to wave people away from the shooter. They believe that the video will confirm this. So many things that are disconcerting about this, but finding out that your son was killed on social media.
It's just too much. It's awful. Thank you, Lindsay.
Appreciate it. We are turning now to the showdown at the border. With thousands of asylum seekers waiting to enter the U.S., President Trump is saying they'll have to stay there until their cases work their way through the courts.
But is the incoming Mexican government on board with this plan? ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is in West Palm Beach, where the president is spending the holiday weekend. Tara, good morning to you.
Good morning, Eva. The mayor of Tijuana is calling it a humanitarian crisis. He's asking the UN for food and shelter for these Central American migrants who have been on a month-long journey. And now we're learning that that border town may turn into a waiting room for asylum seekers. Overnight, President Trump doubling down on his threat to shut down the U.S. border from a caravan of 5,000 migrants fleeing poverty and violence in Honduras. Tweeting, "Migrants at the southern border will not be allowed into the U.S. until their claims are individually approved in court. All will stay in Mexico. If for any reason it becomes necessary, we will close our southern border." This just hours after the Washington Post reported that the administration is close to sealing a deal with Mexico, requiring asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their application is processed. Typically, seeking asylum in the U.S. can be a lengthy process. In some cases, a person may file their application and receive a hearing years in the future. There is no indication whether this plan by the Trump administration would speed up that timeline. The White House not denying the existence of a plan dubbed Remain in Mexico that could also include a fortified barrier between the countries.
We will close entry into the country for a period of time until we can get it under control.
Instead, telling ABC News in a statement that President Trump has developed a, quote, strong relationship with the incoming Mexican administration. But now Mexican officials say there's no agreement of any sort between the incoming Mexican government and the U.S. government. While the president has been threatening to close down the border, behind the scenes there have been diplomatic talks between the two countries about how to share the burden of securing the border. Dan?
Tara, thank you. A lot to talk about here, so let's bring in our chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, who will be hosting This Week later this morning. George, good morning.
Hey, guys.
Happy holiday weekend. So the threat that the president is making to shut down the southern border, is there any precedent for this, and what would the consequences be?
Well, it's hard to know what it means exactly. Completely shutting down the border. The president has a wide latitude on immigration. He has an awful lot of power legally on immigration, but whether he can shut down the entire border just isn't practical. You have about $1.7 billion in commerce going across the border every single day, hundreds of thousands of people. If you shut down the border, you basically shut down the economy of the entire Southwest. It just isn't practical. Now, the president could put some pauses in. He could try to get this plan implemented to hold people on the other side as they apply for asylum. Completely shutting down the border, I don't think that's going to happen.
Let me ask you about something interesting he's doing tomorrow. He's going to fly to Mississippi, deep red state. He's campaigning for a Republican who's in a tight race for a special election for the U.S. Senate there. Why is this race so tight?
Well, it's tighter than it should be right now because the Republican candidate has been accused of making some racist comments over the course of the last several weeks as she faces this runoff with Mike Espy, an African-American candidate, former congressman. My guess is that the president's going down there to try to put her over the top. I think this is a very difficult race for Republicans to lose in that deep red state of Mississippi. But as you point out, it's a little bit closer than people expected, and the president wants that insurance policy.
Finally, on the show this morning, you're going to be talking about the various legal challenges facing the president. The latest news out of the Mueller probe is that Jerome Corsi, who's a far-right journalist with ties to the president, there are reports that he may be cooperating with the special counsel. Does this pose a real threat to the president in a meaningful way?
It sure does look like right now that Robert Mueller is moving towards his end game. He's gotten those written answers from the president, at least to some of the questions that he's posed to the president. He's working to strike that plea deal with Jerome Corsi right there. Other plea deals in the works. Tomorrow we're going to see Paul Manafort, a status report in court for him as well that will detail the amount of cooperation. That could be very telling as well. So even though I think Mueller has been very quiet over the course of the midterms, abided by that pause from any kind of activity as you face an election, I think we're about to see intense activity from Mueller over the next several weeks, including possibly that final report although that could hold until the new Democratic Congress comes in on January 3rd.
Is this maybe a tough time, though, for Mueller? We saw in the exit polls during the midterms that his popularity has sagged.
I don't think that matters at all. I think what matters for Robert Mueller are the facts that he's developed over the course of this investigation, what kind of indictments he's going to be able to develop, and what evidence he has on the president.
And some say that the theory in some circles is that when he's silent, his ratings go down, may go up when he weighs in. George, thank you very much. I want to remind everybody, George, as always, has a big show on this Sunday morning. He's going to speak with the Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar about the latest developments in the Russia investigation, plus Governor John Kasich of Ohio and Senator Sherrod Brown, also of Ohio, discussing their potential 2020 presidential bids. It's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC.
Thanks, guys.
George, thank you again. Really appreciate it. We're going to move on now to the latest on a mystery in New Jersey. A family found dead after a fire in their mansion.
The brother of the man who owned that home has come under suspicion, but he's now getting some vocal support. ABC's David Wright joins us with those details. Good morning, David.
Good morning, guys. It's a grisly murder mystery in an exclusive New Jersey neighborhood, one that's home to stars like Bruce Springsteen, a businessman accused of dousing his own home in gasoline and setting it on fire the same day that his brother's whole family was found dead in a second fire nearby. This morning, the man accused of torching his own home with his wife and daughters inside is getting ready to appear in court. Authorities in New Jersey are charging Paul Canero with arson. ABC News has learned his wife and kids are willing to testify in his defense. Meanwhile, investigators continue to look into a possible link between that fire last Tuesday and the one at this mansion in nearby Colts Neck the same day. The $1 million home engulfed in flames. Authorities say they found Paul Canero's brother and business partner, Keith Canero, shot outside, Keith's wife and children killed inside.
This is one of the most heinous cases that I think they have ever investigated, that we have ever seen.
That quadruple homicide still under investigation.
Unfortunately, sadly, each of these individuals were the victims of homicidal violence at some point prior to when the fire was set.
Authorities are not calling Paul Caneros a suspect in the murders. This morning, his attorney tells ABC News his wife and daughters fully support him as he faces the arson charges. This GoFundMe page, set up for his two daughters, maintains the family lost everything in the fire at their home. Well, for now, Canero is charged only with the aggravated arson at the fire at his home. Authorities will neither confirm nor deny that he may be a suspect in the other fire and the murders at his brother's home. His lawyers insist he's innocent. He's due in court on Wednesday.
No winners here. It's just a horrible story all the way around. David, thank you. Really appreciate it.
We do want to transition. I want to show you some video here. This is in Bernards Township, New Jersey. Police trying to find two men caught on camera ringing a doorbell and then lighting fireworks and taking off afterwards. It's not the first time the prank's been pulled in the area, and now that the video's out there, they're hoping the suspects turn themselves in before serious damage is done, or worse, someone actually getting hurt. I mean, you see how explosive that reaction is. Can be extremely dangerous.
Especially if someone had opened the door.
Yeah.
Well, time now for weather. Let's go back to Sam Champion. This is not a great weekend for people traveling home from the holiday.
We have good news and bad news on that. You know, there's a good part of the country that travel will be effortless, but let's talk about the one system that we headlined, but let's get into detail here. This is the one in the Northeast. That low stays pretty much in place for the rest of the day, but look how this rain is running out ahead of it. So Boston to Portland, it's a problem this morning, but by afternoon, things calm down quite a bit there. Still some icy mess. You get into New York State, New Hampshire, on into Maine as well. You've got the icy mixed in with the rain. This is the big storm on the board. And when you see Kansas City in a blizzard warning, Casey's a pretty busy airport. It hasn't been in a blizzard warning since about 2011. So this is a big deal here. And then look at Chicago all the way into a winter storm warning. That's the weather around the nation. Here's what you can expect this morning.
Well, after nearly an inch and a half of rain yesterday, we'll have a little bit more sunshine today, some milder air as well. Temperatures reaching the mid and upper 50s, light winds out of the west around 5 miles per hour. Rain, that will return on your Monday, just in time for the Monday morning commute, lasting through the early afternoon. 54 on your Monday, back in the 40s Tuesday and Wednesday. Tack on some winds as well. Will be breezy at times through the day on Wednesday. National tree lighting will be chilly. Temperatures back into the 30s. Next chance for rain comes Friday.
I know everybody's gritting their teeth because of this Chicago thing, but it's really, if you're flying through Chicago earlier in the day, this storm might not slow you down at all. By about 5 p.m., this thing is really going to ramp up, and it stays until about 5 a.m. in the morning, so that one of the busiest airports in the country is going to be involved in the evening hours. So that could even impact travel tomorrow morning when those planes couldn't get out.
But I'm really just concerned for you, because I know you're in New York City.
My flight's good.
You've got to catch a flight down to sunny Miami. I'm expecting Instagram posts of you on the beach by this afternoon.
Yeah. Right,
Absolutely. Will that happen,
84 in Miami
cocktail
today?
shaker, swimsuit, the whole thing's happening. No, we're good on the East Coast.
You're good?
We're good.
He has set his strategically planned.
I was worried. I was so worried.
I love how precise you are. You almost sound like a NASA researcher to the weather. Which brings us to our next story, Sam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The countdown is on this morning for a nail-biting mission. The Mars InSight about to attempt a historic touchdown on the red planet. ABC's Clayton Sandell takes a look.
A mission to Mars that blasted off 204 days ago, traveling more than 269 million miles through space. This morning is just a day away from the first touchdown on the red planet in 6 years, and the first spacecraft to look inside Mars for clues about how our solar system formed.
Mars is pretty cold today, but Earth is a nice place to take a vacation. So we'd really like to know why one planet goes one way, another planet goes another way.
But first, InSight has to stick the landing. About half of all Mars landings fail, so everything from InSight's heat shield to its supersonic parachute and retro rockets have to work just right to slow InSight from nearly 13,000 miles per hour to a safe touchdown, a period NASA calls 7 minutes of terror.
We'll actually take a first image shortly after we land, and it may look like this, a very flat place.
A few weeks after landing, a robotic arm will deploy instruments to measure Marsquakes and meteor strikes, and heat sensors that scientists hope will not only unlock mysteries about the Martian interior, but about whether our celestial neighbor once harbored life.
It could have potentially been a place where life could have formed very early in Mars's history.
The $830 million 2-year mission is also taking humans to Mars, or at least their names. 2.4 million Earthlings signed up to have their name etched onto 2 microchips that, if all goes according to plan, InSight will carry right into Martian history. For Good Morning America, Clayton Sandell, ABC News, Denver.
Okay, my 13-year-old self is geeking out right now because my 7th grade science project was us traveling to Mars and how we could colonize the planet. But he talked about those 7 minutes of terror. And get this,